Hey there, I'm Colleen. I'm talking about our autism experience and autism journey and sharing our experience with others throughout the month of April and perhaps a bit beyond. I was asked a lot of questions about our experience, so I'm going over some of those in some quick videos. Please check out my YouTube channel, Colleen Arrington Warrior Mom. If you'd like to see some of the other videos, there's a playlist called Autism Tips and Inspiration. These are from my mom perspective. I am a former clinical social worker and have that background, but really a lot of this is just from my mom perspective. I am a sunrise mom and also run my own fitness business from home. So I am recording videos throughout the day as I work from home. Today I was going to talk a little bit about our son's language development. So a question was asked from a friend in the group. How did you help your son's language? Did you start from one word, 2 words, or he just started talking full sentences all of a sudden? Well, Gavin was diagnosed a little bit later. He did have some language around the age of 2, 2.5, but he did not answer questions. He did not call us mom and dad. He didn't make eye contact when he was talking to you. He didn't respond very much to his name. He didn't always look your way if you called him. And so that was one of the reasons why we started to look into his diagnosis, because he just wasn't, he was saying words sometimes, naming things, reading books and naming things, but he wasn't relating with other people. So his language was very inconsistent, and it wasn't used to communicate with people. So by the time we started to have others point that out to us, or started to put together some of the other things going on, some sensory things going on, and him not responding and using language a lot, we looked into his hearing and had a speech and language evaluation, and he was very inconsistent all over the place. He seemed to be understanding. His receptive language was okay, but his expressive language was quite delayed. Honestly, I don't remember all of the details or where he fell on those evaluations at this point. He's 13 now, and whoa, has he come a long way. So regarding his language, he could read books before he could create sentences on his own. He had a strength in reading and basically taught himself to read before he would even answer our questions or give us a couple words together spontaneously. But when he was first diagnosed and we started, he would use 1 or 2 word phrases. He would not answer questions, like I said. And so we really had a lot of skills to make up and work on. He started speech therapy and occupational therapy. He started in a special autism program and pretty much full-time school program, play-based as well as some ABA-based. So he had some behavioral therapy as well as more play-based therapy, as well as occupational therapy. We started the Sunrise program about a year or so after he was diagnosed. Perspective from the Sunrise program regarding language development, in my understanding, was that it was really important to focus on the connection and engagement with the child, and not to just start to have them naming rote things and memorizing things. We really wanted to have that meaningful relationship and engagement together, and then use useful language for, like, asking for things that he wanted in the playroom, or asking for, you know, communicating really important things, not just naming chair, book, or table, or things like that. So one huge thing with helping the development of language became celebrating any efforts at making verbal language. So even an approximation of a word, even a sound, definitely celebrate that. So if we're in the playroom and he's trying to ask for a ball up on the shelf, I talk about the playroom and the shelves and how toys are used in another video, so check that one out. But if you were asking for that and he was saying, like, ba, ba, we might then encourage, are you saying ball, ball, and show the ball, and really celebrate that effort to even say it. As he was developing more, we might have several, maybe there were several balls in there, or several cars or something. So if you were starting to say car, or that one, Gavin did a lot of talking around. He would start to use more words than necessary, but not say the actual name of something. I'm not sure exactly why, but he still does this in some way, which is interesting. So we try to say, it's okay, just say the thing. It's so much easier for me to understand if you say what you mean. So we would try to encourage him to say, oh, tell us which one you want. Just say which one is up there. But the biggest thing is keeping it short. So if they're just starting out, you're just using 1 or 2 words to describe something. Don't expect a full sentence right off the bat. But with him, we then were able to start incorporating longer phrases, being more specific about which one he wanted, if there was different colors or different types of things. But a lot of that was just done through play. So we weren't sitting there and just focusing on naming things. It was done through play. So in the playroom, if you're focusing on language, then you're not going to be prompting and really focusing a lot on eye contact. You celebrate it if it happens, for sure. But you're maybe just focused on language, or maybe sometimes we wouldn't be focusing on language or using all the right words if we were just focused on interactive attention span. So say he was staying in a game with us and doing really great, we would really focus in on that and not necessarily be focused on every single word he was saying or helping him to use more language if he was still staying in the interactive attention for that activity. So I hope that's helpful. Let me see if there's anything else about language. Yeah, it wasn't full sentences all at once. It just was sort of a progression. And I just kept believing in my head that it was going to happen, believing that he could do it. And he did a lot of reading. We did a lot of reading with him. I think a lot of that it did start to come over time. A lot of his longer sentences in the beginning, though, were scripting. They were from movies that he liked. They were, seeing things that he really enjoyed, and so he would talk in long sentences saying those things, but not necessarily having conversations or answering with full sentences. Now it still takes me back. It still catches me off guard when he says something like, in social studies class the other day, we were talking about blah, blah, blah. So he's giving me time frame, he's giving me where it happened, he's giving me something in the past. It still catches me off guard, and I still am so grateful every time it happens, and I still am like, thank you so much for being really specific. You told me exactly when that happened. That really helps me to understand. But sometimes he doesn't, and it is still confusing, and he will become frustrated as we try to ask questions to clarify more. And I try to just stay calm and explain. I'm just trying to understand. The more that you can tell me, the better I can understand you. And sometimes he can and will, and sometimes he still struggles with that. So I still have to remember to stay calm myself and keep it all in perspective. I hope it's helpful. Language development comes different for every child. So stay focused on just staying where your child needs to be right now and believing that it's going to come and it's going to continue, and really celebrating all those efforts, staying happy in the moment and celebrating your child for everything that they are doing. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, and check out my other videos. Please let me know if there's anything else I can share about that would be helpful to you. Take care.